6 minutes past 1. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Ed.
Good afternoon, Paul. And great excitement around the office this morning as the betting odds flashed up for the new royal baby's name. John, 100 to 1. Somebody had a bet on that. I'm going with Wayne, which is unclassifiable, or Wally.
What?
Wally.
Wally Windsor?
Yeah, it'd be great.
Can you see that
It might not be a boy, of course. Yeah.
No, it may not be. That's the chance you take.
Alice was favourite, apparently.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Fair enough.
Not Zoella.
Kim John's not in there, I take it. I wouldn't think that would...
that was so brilliant.
Yeah.
That stuff about from the two mics there.
J.R. Hartley, yeah.
Thank goodness Zara Phillips went in the water. Otherwise, no one would have mentioned the Burley horse trials.
That's true. Put it on the map, didn't it? They probably ask her to deliberately go in, don't they?
Good stuff there. And I was reading about Adnan Januzaj. This is incredible, really. He spent £3 million on a house just days before Manchester United sold him. The sale dragged on a bit, but he was hopeful that he had a future at Old Trafford. Do you think, blimey, is that the definition of optimism? But he was never going to stay there, was he? Unlikely, really. But he'll get,
I never
get his money back.
I never expected him to have a testimonial. I mean, he's made an investment, a property investment. You've got to look at it like that.
I suppose so, yeah.
Our rugby league correspondent, Mark Wilson, he said, I watched the Luxembourg game live on TV last night. A well-deserved point. They could have won it too. He said it was a great sporting moment. He watched it all unfold.
Pathetic. The way they celebrated it was pathetic. Who celebrates a 0-0 like that? What's the point? They shouldn't even be in it. International football is a complete and utter waste of time. I'm coming out with it.
So
now.
if you do,
I can't stand.
If you're part of a great rear guard action in football and you keep a team out, you shouldn't celebrate it.
No, not if you're Luxembourg against France.
What about if you're Chelsea, for example?
Yeah,
that's all right.
That's all right. That's fine.
Don't ask him to be logical or consistent, because he won't be.
No, just that game on Friday night, it was pitiful, wasn't it? I was reading Twitter. It's all right, Southgate going on about, the fans aren't behind us, the fans, but they're going to boo. England stunk the place out. They're dreadful. What do you think they're going to do? Those goals at the end just covered up the fact that it was a really pathetic performance against, minnows of the world.
They got the job done, though, Andy, unlike France last night.
They got the job done, but, what's the point? They get the job done, they'll go home after 2 games. Honestly, I've got no faith in Southgate whatsoever. I just don't think Livermore, what's he doing in the team? What's game is he getting out of Dele Alli? He looks like he's never played football before in his life. On Friday.
He laid on the first goal.
He had a terrible game. He can hardly control the ball. He looked terrible. Do you think he played well on Friday?
No, I didn't think any of them played particularly well, to be honest.
Awful. It's awful, And tonight,
caller.
The papers are going, it's not thank you, caller. It's the fact that the fact is, most people agree with
that was
me.
a bit... Jake Livermore, what's he doing in the team?
Well,
Adrian.
What is he doing in the team? You don't rate him either, do you?
Well, I don't think he should be. I didn't see why we started with 2 holding midfielders, to be completely honest. I didn't quite see the point of that, but there we are.
I mean, they were previewing tonight's game in the Times, and they've written, will they defend as deep against Slovakia? What do you think?
Yes.
No, they're going to come and really attack. It's going to be a lovely open game. 5-4 would be my guess.
You sound like you're really looking forward to the match
I
tonight,
can't wait. It'd be tremendous. I just hate it. I just think it's abysmal.
And he had a 14-hour power cut of the weekend. That might have something to do with his mood.
Oh, yeah, I didn't see any of the 2020 final. I had to watch the game yesterday.
14 hours is a long time, isn't it?
It was a long time. It wasn't really the electricity board's company.
They still called that?
No, they're not called that.
The electricity board's company?
Yes, Scottish and Southern, I think they call, which is a bit of an odd combination to be
Well, then the people you pay your bill to, you've not been looking it up, have you?
Well,
Scottish
really.
And Southern feels a bit odd. So they do everything in the south and everything in Scotland, do they? They're not particularly interested.
That's what they're called.
Do you in fact want to take the Midlands on? No, not really. What about the north? No, not.
That's where our power went.
That's probably what it was.
On the weekend.
They're quite a small company. They can only power one house in 5.
They had to dig.
Or you.
They had to dig down and they had to dig a hole in the road to sort it.
Really? Was Bernard Cribbins there?
Yeah, and some bloke had parked his car. And I didn't realise this, but they sort of tried to get the council to move the car and the police, and the police said, no, we can't move a car if it's legally parked. What, you mean even those sort of 25 people without power? Yeah.
Right, okay.
So we had to wait for
why didn't you go out there en masse and sort of move it, pick it up and move it or something?
I wasn't
the local residents.
I decided to spend the day away from the area.
Oh, did you? Okay, which is great news for the area.
I went to the Primrose Hill Dog Show, if you must know.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. That
couldn't have been more middle class if it tried.
It doesn't sound it. Sounds quite earthy.
Yeah,
The Primrose Hill Dog Show.
It really wasn't.
No.
But it was some lovely dogs there. Yeah,
I'm sure there would be, wouldn't it?
It's a dog
Really,
show.
a bit pointless otherwise. No dogs allowed, is it?
The Wayne Rooney story, not the bit that we can't talk about, but the other bit.
Yes.
The bit with, honestly, the girl, really. Some of the things she said were quite amazing, really. I did nothing wrong. I'm single and having fun. Not really. We're just having a bit of banter. I thought that was the worst use of the word banter I've heard for a very long time. We had a kiss and a hug. Oh, that's fine. It doesn't matter that he's married or anything. It's brilliant, isn't it? Really, really incredible.
It's the moral high ground Andy is occupying today.
Well, I think
sanctity of marriage.
To be fair, I think I'm entitled to. But there you go.
Yes. So, this afternoon, try and cheer Andy up. Steve Anglesey.
She said, I thought he was a good-looking bloke. That's what she said about Wayne.
Did she?
Yeah, really.
What's your point?
Well, his nickname is Shrek. Let's be honest.
Bit harsh. And again, something I haven't got much to moan about.
I'll always find something to moan about. I'm very much in the Jacob school of
very, very
of
harsh.
enthusiasm.
I think that's very unfair.
Do you have anything for us, Andy?
Yes, I probably do. What was I going to say to you? Oh, yeah, this caught my eye, actually. And Steve was telling us he's just 50 yesterday. Congratulations.
Yes. Oh, congratulations.
Many happy returns for yesterday. But the new thing for older people now is to have blood transfusions from teenagers. Have you heard about this?
Really?
It's a big thing in
creepy.
Silicon Valley. Yeah, you go and find yourself a 16-year-old and you say, can I have a couple of pints of your blood, please, mate? And
Is that the system?
Well, no, I think there is a facilitating...
I think
there's a facilitating company.
Marching up to people on the street. Asking for that.
Yeah, I'll have a couple of pints and become a YouTube vlogger. Sounds good to me.
I mean, what does it do? Is it just
apparently
blood doping?
So basically in effect, it revitalises. You replace your old, worn-out blood with some new blood.
Have you got old, worn-out blood?
I'd say I have.
Old worn-out blood. Call this number.
There might be a 90-year-old out there who wants your old, worn-out blood. You can sell it on.
I will.
This all
I'll sell mine
chain.
to them and take some 16-year-olds.
This all sounds a bit sinister, Andy.
Well,
I don't like
it's in the
this
paper
system.
this morning. I didn't make it up.
Do you have to bathe in this, like in the Hammer horror films?
No.
That used to give them eternal life, didn't
It's a
it?
transfusion situation.
Oh, is
as
it?
Glenn would say.
And does it make a huge difference? Do we know? I mean, after it, they'll only give you
apparently people who've had it done
you an
say
initial boost,
it
wouldn't it?
does make a difference. I don't know.
for how long?
Well, I don't know.
If it can just get you through the 3 hours of this show, that would be something.
One every
Like
morning.
your lad. Is your lad willing to give him a couple of pints of
I
blood?
think he could come down.
Yeah, that's fantastic. All right, we'll see if we can sort
If
that
there's
out.
a rise in work experience being taken on here, I think we'll know what the situation is.
You're looking a bit anemic. You've only been here for 3 days. Please help me, Uncle Andy. He won't leave me alone. Keeps taking my blood. Don't do it. Don't try that at home, kids, please.
No.
When Grandad's asleep, don't try and give him a transfusion. Andy Brassel joins us later on. More from Steve Anglesey very shortly after the news and sports headlines.
Hammer, saw, drill, clamp, listen, win.
100 goals in the Premier League.
Right footed, slams the ball straight.
Paul Hawksbee, Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT. Steve Anglesey from the new European Manchester City fan with us in the studio looking at some of the stories of the day. Andy, you've got news about a live tour that might interest us.
Oh, yes. Katie Price. You may want to go and see Katie in concert. It does sound like a tremendous...
concert?
In tour. I don't know. It's a show. She was heckled by a drunk tramp who wandered in from the street. The intruder stumbled towards the stage.
The level of security doesn't sound that stunning.
The intruder stumbled towards the stage shouting, "All right, what's going on here?"
Where's he from?
I don't know.
Come on, you're going to have to give us a
Well, it
clue.
says all right. I don't know. Where do you think he's from? I've no idea.
Where was the gig taken?
Preston.
Oh, okay. Well, that was a Preston accent, was it?
No, not really. I
It
didn't
was uncanny, wasn't it? It was like you've been
It
to
was like
Preston.
Tom Finney was here.
It was. It was amazing. That's
Back
right. Yeah.
walking among us.
Go and get your rods.
A great place to open the tour, though, isn't it, Preston? Really.
We used to in Preston, don't you? That's the way it tends to work.
Security guards grabbed him before he could reach the loose woman star, and I can't tell you what she said, but she just basically had a go at his manhood.
Really? That was on show, was it?
No, but she's
He
shouting.
clearly had a drink,
I don't know. But this is the worst part of the show. There's a part of the show where Junior, her son, takes to the stage and basically told the audience that she breaks wind a lot.
Oh, okay.
And when she breaks wind, they're terrible. They are the type of breaking wind, I'm using a different word, that no one can describe. Sometimes they're every 5 seconds.
Wow, well,
and then
constantly?
Yes, and then she came on and said that her son was a cheeky
so-and-so, yeah.
And I have to confess, even my neighbour calls me Pipes. I do it all the time, and it's disgusting. I've not done it since I started.
Doctor, Steve. Really? That doesn't sound healthy.
I've actually Googled it. I think I've got a problem.
Yeah.
The normal amount is between 10 and 20 times a day. I hadn't even known that.
God, this is the whole show.
This is what you pay your money. This is what you get. It's tremendous. It sounds tremendous, doesn't it? I can't wait.
Well, okay. It sounds like this. It sounds like it should be in some sort of medical setting, shouldn't it?
I did love the husband though yesterday talking in the papers about the fact that you know they've been having a few problems.
Yeah.
And he's sort of saying that he confessed to romping with the 40-year-old nanny 5 times in the marital home over a
great way of romping back.
Romping is back.
In the marital home over a 6-month period, but says it was cheap, cold, and meaningless. I bet she feels really special, wasn't she, the nanny?
I think he was just. I mean, it was where was it? Outside. He was probably just glad to get out in the fresh air, wasn't he? By the sound of it.
Probably.
Poor fella was choking. Yeah.
Wales win on Saturday.
Tremendous
was witnessed
win,
by David Hasselhoff in the crowd. Could you any reason why David Hasselhoff? Is he Welsh?
No, he's not Welsh.
No, I think
he's clearly not Welsh.
I wonder why he went to the game.
Maybe he was in town. I don't know. There's a Baywatch Road show or something. Maybe he'd probably gone to Preston to see Katie Price and just took a bit of a detour.
Well, it's possible.
He had to leave, obviously.
Yeah. The X Factor started on the weekend and they had the lowest figures ever, which is not really a surprising. I mean, they should change the name to Dead Horse. I mean, it really is a terrible program.
Surely, do you think that would tune in?
Yeah, I'm not sure that would.
I'd watch a show. I don't think I would watch a show called Dead Horse.
Not
Honey
really.
G surely killed it off forever last time.
You think you're putting all the blame on her?
I am. I'm blaming her.
Well, that and J.R. Hartley. It's not been a day for people like that, has it, really?
At least Honey G's a real person.
Now,
J.R. Hartley.
Maybe Katie Price could come in and
do
a musical turn with her pipes.
So. Yeah, exactly. Like Mr. Methane.
Saturday night football, Andy. It's being discussed this week. I mean, at the moment we just enjoy a bit of Spanish football or whatever on a Saturday night, but 7:45 kickoffs on Saturdays.
Honestly,
now it's being considered this week. How do you feel about the Saturday night kickoff?
It's a disaster. I'll have to be going to that company that advertises on talkSPORT for divorces. Seriously. I mean, you can't have football every night. It's madness.
Well, it's just a later kickoff, right? It'd been 5:30. It'll be 7:45. Maybe there'll be a 5:30 game.
But the
as
nice
well.
thing about the 5:30 game is you can enjoy it, watch the game, get ready and go out. You know, this way, just, you know, a lot of people do like to go out on a Saturday night.
Yeah.
Pictures or a meal or something, you know.
Well, just two of the things they could do.
Well, you know.
They might go dancing.
Dancing, yeah.
Might go and watch Katie Price.
They might go to one of her gigs in Preston, yeah. Might go and find out.
I'm not in favour. I just don't see that it's necessary. And also, how do people get home on a Saturday night at sort of 10:30, you know, when the game's over?
No, that is very true, isn't it? It's when the engineering works kick in. But
I know they don't care, but, you know.
You're not a fan?
I like football. I like watching football at night. There's something about a night game, isn't there?
Yeah. Even a Saturday night. I mean,
but Friday night's the one for me. I like the idea of kicking off the Premier League weekend with a Friday night game.
Again, it's a problem, really. The weekend.
What's a problem for you?
Well, it is, yeah.
And that means it's a problem for all of us.
Well, it is.
Katie Price, no, not Katie Price, one of the two people we've been talking about, David Hasselhoff. His girlfriend is Welsh. His girlfriend is Welsh. His girlfriend is Welsh. Yeah, so that's why he was there.
Yeah. I am quite worried about myself today because
I'm quite worried about you.
I was looking at the Daily Star text section.
Really?
And I saw this text.
Well, that's enough to worry about to start with.
I agree. It says they were discussing the idea of 10-minute plus tracks, and people love these tracks. Which are their favourite?
What songs we're talking about there?
Songs that last longer than 10 minutes, and people like them. And this bloke from South London wrote in and said one of the best 10-minute tracks has to be Jacob's Ladder by Rush.
Oh yeah.
I thought, don't know that track, so I'll look it up. It's 7 minutes and 36 seconds. It's brilliant, isn't it?
You had a bit of time on your hands this morning.
I did, really, yeah.
Did you look at any other tracks that you wanted to make
What's the point
sure?
of writing in that section when the song isn't even over 10 minutes?
Okay, well,
I couldn't understand
these are
it.
the
It is,
things that
to
have
be
been
fair,
worrying.
most of Rush's songs do feel like they're over 10 minutes, don't they? They are absolutely terrible.
Well, I've never heard it. The big story, though, of the weekend, of course, was Wayne and this girl and Colleen. And yesterday in the papers, they said, should he leave him? No, I think this might be
Pardon?
Saturday.
Should he leave him?
Should she leave him? No, sorry, should he? Should
You've
she
become Count Arthur Jacobs today. I can't keep up with you. I'm really struggling.
Should she leave him?
Yeah.
Yes, says Susie Walker. No, says Lizzie Cundy.
Oh.
Don't know, says Andy Jacobs.
Right.
Don't care, says everyone else.
Yeah.
Fantastic. It's brilliant, isn't it?
You've had a hard weekend, haven't you, Andy? Really?
Well, I have, really,
I know you, but you're keeping us going. So thank you very much for
It's
that.
not bad, is it? In my next life, I want to be a failed politician.
Yeah, really.
David Cameron, have you seen how much money he's making? It's unbelievable. Really, I mean, you would appreciate this. I mean,
Well,
he wouldn't even have a newspaper.
Well,
if it wasn't for it.
exactly.
Yeah.
He's given me a second career.
He's given you work.
Yeah, he has.
He's
Yeah.
done you a right turn.
Yeah.
Apparently, he's getting £800,000 advance for his memoirs. I don't know who's going to want to read this, but I suppose somebody would. Not I don't. And he's been earning £120,000 an hour giving a speech about Brexit.
Yeah.
That's fantastic, isn't it? I mean, that is brilliant.
I would rather listen to Katie Price's anecdote again.
To be honest, I'd rather listen to Kate Rice break wind.
That would be good, wouldn't it? How good would it be if Sam Cameron came on first and said, David has got a real problem
That's they
with
call him pipes every 5 seconds, apparently.
Now,
So with that in mind,
if that's in
people
his
at
book,
the front.
then maybe.
Works
Yeah.
for me.
It's
equivalent of-
unusual. It is unusual to see Katie Price talking openly about her private life, isn't
I
it?
know.
She's normally
It's odd.
quite
It's normally
reclusive
very
normally.
guarded.
Yeah.
Normally very
Do you ever
guarded.
I got a bit of a shock today. I was reading about Adele. And
Oh, what is this?
well, I said sport. It's not my fault. It's international weekend. I don't watch international football, so I've got nothing about
You've turned
football.
into Dan Wooten. I know Sam Wooten is.
I am Sam Wooten.
You are Dan Wooten.
I am Dan
You're
Wooten.
like the bloke doing the bizarre colour.
I know who
My
he is.
sources tell me that Charlie exit. You're going to be doing all this soon, aren't you?
I am.
That's right.
I can exclusively reveal.
Yeah, that's right.
That's
She
his
told
favourite
me
one.
in our exclusive interview.
Yeah, I know. It's marvellous.
You've turned into
I
this.
have. I'd quite like to do his job.
In the
actually.
green room with Andy Jacobs.
Can't be
Sort of
bad.
Celebrity
really.
fluff.
And he's on with Lorraine, you know. He's built up quite a nice career out of all that celebrity gossip.
Okay.
I could quite fancy it. Anyway, I've
I
discovered
thought you want to come back as a failed politician. Make your mind up.
everything. And I did have
This
this
has been a
idea.
bonkers 20
I know,
minutes.
well,
This.
fair
I can't
enough.
keep up with it.
Adele is 29.
I do apologise, Steve. I mean, this is
No,
maybe
no,
the
I'm enjoying it.
this may be the last time we see Steve. They may say we've really found it very difficult to get Steve in since that day Andy went a bit mad for 20 minutes. Just started shouting things out of the paper.
I don't really follow the showbiz news though, so this is fascinating
It's a
for
real
me.
insight, isn't it?
It is incredible.
Honestly,
yeah.
no,
Tell me
it's-
about Adele.
Well, nothing really, except
Oh,
that
look.
she's 29.
Who is?
Adele. Honestly, I honestly thought she was about 40. I can't believe she's 29.
I think the clues in the
album
clues in the
titles.
album titles really. You know, that
Oh,
allows
yeah.
us to keep track of her age. Otherwise, she
yeah.
would have done one
One's
last
called
year called
25.
39. Yeah.
She's an old-looking 29, isn't she? She
Come on, you're scorched earth today.
She needs a blood transfusion from the Silicon Valley.
Anyway, Steve, thank you very much. It's been lovely
Well, it's
knowing
been
you.
remarkable.
I do
And
apologise.
maybe I'll kind of catch you in the West End one day.
Yeah.
We can have a cup of tea and talk about Andy's last ever show before he was led out by a matron. One of the more bizarre 20 minutes I've experienced with Andy over the years. Steve Anglesey, New European, still very much available.
Available every Thursday.
Yeah.
Very good.
And it was like a pop-up
Quite funny.
newspaper. You thought you'd only last
We
a
only
few
thought
weeks.
we'd last 4 weeks, but I have got and now it's about 14 months on, isn't
What
it?
about
13,
that?
14 months on. But tonight I've got to return to the office and write a 1,500 word article about the EU negotiations, and I imagine that will be more fun than watching England versus Slovakia later on.
I'm not happy about John Barnier.
He used to get booed, didn't he, John
did.
Barnier, when he played for England?
And then why can't he do it like he does in Brussels? Turn it on.
Thank you, Steve. All the best.
Thank you.
Steve Anglesey there. Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT. I'm going to get Andy a transfusion from one of our young work experience staff, and we'll be back after the travel.